Now, if we don't get everything covered in this 1 hour, which he's told me I have to make sure it's only 1 hour, Dan's also going to have me down on the showroom floor in the Clean Link booth talking more at 1 o'clock. He gave me several things to talk about, and I said, we got to do that in 20 minutes? No way. All right. So I want to say thank you for allowing me to come here and talk with you guys. I'm kind of one of these presenters that I don't like to stand up on stage all the time. I'm a lifetime custodian, and so I like to walk around and like to move. But I will go back up there because we're going to do something absolutely uniquely different. My name is Dave Thompson. I am an accredited certification trainer from ISSA. I'd like to take some time to get that acronym behind my name, you know? Makes you feel important, right? I run the Academy of Cleaning Excellence. I'm the Director of Education. You'll learn that there's a very definite reason I say that word. I did write a book because, you know, this is one of those things I had to do. And yes, that is my granddaughter right there in the mop bucket. Now, see, I got you to laugh in the first minute. I had to use my granddaughter to do that, right? But what was interesting is as a lifetime custodian, I've got all of the fun things. They're colored, they move, and she's a water baby. Enough about that, right? The most expensive issue in any operation is
people.
Labor.
Money.
I'm going to borrow somebody's saying here that I saw earlier. I'm going to borrow that again in front of you. The most incorrect answer. An unengaged employee. You feel me?
Yeah.
Nobody here is that way. I can see there. We got a packed house. What was it Dan said? We're going to have elementary seating. We're going to sit right up in front. Yeah. Do you agree?
Yes.
So what is the common denominator that you have, no matter whether you're a building service contractor, an in-house operation, healthcare, food service, it doesn't matter. You said it already.
Employees.
People! If you came to this presentation thinking that it was going to be about processes, products, and procedure, sorry. It's not. Everybody's got a cell phone. Right? You will never find another presentation. You haven't found it yet. I want you to take it out, turn it on. Now, that's about different. What are you guys doing? You're sitting there. I said, take it out and turn it on. You didn't believe me, did you? I meant what I said. See, here's the first thing. I want to find out if you're engaged. You're my employee for an hour. I had to repeat that twice. Why? Because most people tell you what? Can you follow directions? Do I have to tell you what to do?
No.
How many people are there already? Okay, so let me ask a question before I go any further. How many people have cleaned the toilet? How many people still do today? You see there? All right. So you're going to see this screen. It's going to ask you to join. Do not go to .com. Don't pull up your app. I'm trying to find out whether you can follow instructions, right? You're going to have a game pin that's going to come up. It's going to look like this. After the game pin, after I get this and give it to you, you're going to put in your first name. Now, I want to see if you can follow directions. We got what? Close to 100 people in here? Let's see if 100 people can follow directions. Here it comes. It's coming up. It'll load up.
Should it say learning games?
Not your wrong place, you can go to IT. You should have just went to a place where it says, there they are. Some people can find it, right? How many people? We got 16, we got 20. Let's shoot for at least 50. Let's get 50 people that are playing and engaging. Now don't worry if you didn't get in. You're going to play this, and some people will get in on this first one. We're actually going to play 3 of these. Right? We've got an hour. We're going to play 3 of these and get you information. 76, 80. We're going to break 100 here. Wow.
I still ain't got any.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and start. Do we wait for 100?
Yeah.
We wait for 100? She said we're at 92. We got to wait for 100, right? Okay, so okay. Okay, come on. Come on. All right. Now, whenever the question comes up, I want you to use the color or the symbol to answer on your phone. Come on, 20 seconds. We got to get 100 answers. Quick. Come on. Dan's got me on the time clock. There we got 100. All right, we got 79 right here. Offense is the best. You keep the others, Steve. You don't keep the other team from scoring with offense. What's wrong with your thumbs? Come on! I don't know where Mark is, but he's in the... Now, go ahead, Mark. Let's see what you want to do. You want to know he's the first one up, right? Oh! He's even given up already. He got the first answer right. He said, I won't do it again. Okay. Which is it? Come on. Let's see how quick we can get 100 answers. Come on. Give me the answers. There we are, 100.
He was a curveball. That was a curveball.
I think you need to go back to clean clothes. Hey, seriously. No. Rocks? What are you talking about? She said, I What are you seeing here? Engagement. You thought that you were going to come in here for another hour. You are not going to do that. You get that feeling? What if your employee that you can't keep engaged, your employee that you depend on, which way would you rather them be? Like this? What's the name of this car? Looks like you beat it. We're over 125 people. Does the person running a board want to stand up? You can believe every time I do this, somebody will support it. Well, I know that in Europe we import a lot of things, but this one came from the other side. Catch up. I love this one. This one is so much fun. Now, isn't that the fun way to start your afternoon?
Yeah.
We haven't got to the afternoon yet, right? So you're here to talk about how to be a rock star custodian. Anybody ever taught you this? I've been in the cleaning business, I won't tell you exactly, but over 45 years. Anybody ever taught you this?
No.
Why? You're a rock star. Maybe they don't know a lot. So what we're going to do here is we're going to break down the word custodian, the letters in the word custodian, and we're going to give you 9 ways to identify your rock star custodians. Does everybody believe that, you may be the rock star custodian, I don't know. Everybody believe they have a rock star custodian on their team? The thing is how do you determine that? I'm going to help you. Now, I am not the author of the material. The author of the material is Michael Ward. Everybody says, I want the slide deck and manual. Here it is. Who Swings Your Mop? You can go to my podcast channel and you can find out all about our conversation about his title. I didn't tell you I agree with it, but hey, I hate mops. That's just my thing. Now my granddaughter likes them real well. She says that I can change the color of your hair. Anyway, so he's got a Bachelor of Science in HR. I don't. So I'm the mouthpiece for my information. Just wanted you to understand that. I wrote my book. You're not going to be listening to my stuff. You're going to be listening to his. So, the first, now, take a picture of these slides, because guess what? You're going to play 2 more games. What do you think that the question's going to be? The first letter is C. Now, see, what am I looking at? I'm looking at 100 cell phones. Communication. Every custodian that is a rock star has to be communicated with. At any level that you've been a custodian or somebody that you know, you have to communicate. How are we communicating with them? This is the issue. Now, I've heard a lot about data in the last 2 days, just like you have. I'm not saying data is wrong. We're talking about the frontline custodian. The one that cleans the toilet, one that mops the floor, one that washes the windows. You do not give them a spreadsheet. Why did somebody laugh? Who laughed?
I laugh.
I heard that. Well, why do we not give them a spreadsheet?
Because they don't care.
They just shut right off. Point. But you give them a cell phone. You hear what I'm saying? The minute I said cell phone and turned it on, you guys kind of thought I was joking. And then when you realized I wasn't, what happened all of a sudden? Communication comes in a number of different ways. Now, what we have to know is, when was that time that you saw the custodian get that communication right before 500 people walked in? You know what? We came and said, hey, you still got to do the building, you still got to clean the hallway, you still got to get the water fountain done. But I forgot to tell you, we got 500 people coming in for an assembly. And then afterward, you still got to have it ready. Because tomorrow we got Boy Scouts meeting. This is not proper communication on our part. They do not respond. Why do I know that? Because I've been my custodian. I didn't respond. I know that was a while back. Okay? But it doesn't matter. Why? We're talking about human nature. We're talking about people. So, Mike has a little deal here. He has calendars. And what his belief is that we need to use these calendars to communicate with everybody. Now, I've been doing this a long time. Calendars are nothing new, right? Matter of fact, we use calendars now on these devices that you have in your hand. What Mike says, though, is you're not communicating and giving those calendars to the right people. It's not the use of the calendar, it's who's seeing it. Accountability. So what Mike says in the book is he says, let's not stop with just sharing that with our team. Let's share that with the principal. Let's share that with the HR department, with the nurse, with the teacher. Don't forget the superintendent of schools and the school board. You kind of went, I saw your head go like that. I did the same thing. And I got to thinking about it. The more that you communicate with people, what do you get? The better results back. They feed back to you, correct? So that's what Mike talks about. We're only on communication. So you know what, is whenever I was looking at this, my first time looking at the book and having Mike walk through me, I started going, I've been doing this a long time. I can figure out what the next letter is. So if it's you. You. What's the letter mean? Come on, quick. Do I have to get the game out for you to do something? Understanding. Wrong. Utilize resources. Why are you here this week at Clean Buildings Expo? Resources. Communication. You see, you're doing it. I'm just telling you to take it home and do it with your staff. That's all. Here's an interesting thing, right? She didn't just start laughing. She's like, oh, yeah. We Google everything. YouTube, Google. You know what? I've got 4 YouTube channels. Probably none will come up. I've got hundreds of YouTube videos out there, and they're all perfectly great. Somebody chuckled, I heard it. Do you believe everything on YouTube?
No.
Well, you need to believe everything I've got up there. It's a resource. I didn't say it was perfect. It's a resource. Just like everything you're going to hear this week, you've already heard, and you'll hear yet. It's a resource. Here's the problem. Network. What are you doing this week?
Network.
Why is it that we don't let our frontline custodians do this?
We think they don't
Very
know.
good. I heard an I do. That's very good. Thank you. But what about networking with other school districts? Now, predominantly this program was built for school districts, right? So you're going to hear me talk that way. But don't relegate this just to school. You can apply this with anything, with anybody. Right? I used to run a building service contracting business back in the 80s. We had a group of us that all worked together. You know, you don't have to be competition. You can work together, uplift the whole program. All right, so utilize. Here's the problem. We don't want to do this because we're afraid to ask a question. When you get I've heard this word and you'll see what I say a lot. You come to some of my other programs, there's a real problem with training education. Come to the 1 o'clock meeting and I'll tell you about all that. But the problem is that most people don't want to reach out because they're afraid somebody else is going to show up their best practice. Yeah, Mark going to run. I'm not going to talk with you because you might point out my deficiencies. That is not a rock star leader. It's not a rock star custodian. Right? What's the big red S for?
Service.
Did I lose all of you already?
Safety.
What is it? Get the game out again. What does the big red S stand for?
Success.
Superman. No.
Safety.
Safety. From service for others. If you're in the cleaning business, it doesn't matter where you're at. You're there to serve other people. This is our job. And as Mike says, just get with the program. Embrace it. This is what you do. This is the reason you're there. My screen's a little bit off over here. Sorry about that. Just realized that. Dan stepped out. I don't know if we get somebody to kind of pull that in for you or not. It's probably big enough everybody to see it from the other side, right? All right. You see what I'm saying here? So let me ask a question. What is the guy doing?
Washing the doorknob.
Wrong. Wrong. There you go. There's only one reason you're there is to protect those students walking in that room. What we do is the process. The reason we're there is to service those students. We all need to get on the same page. If you're looking for that rock star custodian, that rock star individual, that person that stands out, we all need to be on that same page. So think of, how many people hired somebody last week that replaced somebody else? See what I'm saying? We're all replacing somebody. So when you're thinking of that person that you're wanting to replace somebody with, I'm giving you the list. Here's your qualifications list of who you want that next hire to be. Get me? Instead of looking at being interrupted while you're cleaning a room, maybe this is a chance to give back. Change the mindset. It's all in your own head. That rock star custodian, if you really start looking at what they do and why they do and how they do, you will find these things. Now, every time I do this, somebody says, well, you can't touch them like that. You can't touch those kids like that anymore. I understand that. I totally understand that. My day, we can do this. What I'm actually looking for you to do is understand the feeling that goes with this. I just wanted to use this as a visual demonstration of the feeling. This is what it's all about. Somewhere along in my life, back when I was between 13 and 15, the feeling of myself and the custodian was like this. Because I started my career sweeping floors because the custodian broke both legs and the superintendent of school said, you know where this keys go. I don't know how come I knew that. I had a feeling, I had a connection, I had a bond. That person set me in motion for a 45-year career that has sent me around the world. You never know how you're going to impact. When I said service to others, I wish I could get something back. I'm that person probably long gone. Here I still am. Do you feel me?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right. I want to ask you what that one is, and nobody ever gets it, including myself. Take ownership. Do you think I take ownership of this material?
Yes. We hear that. Somebody else than you.
It's not my material, but I take ownership of it. I guarantee you. I want you to feel what I'm doing, because I want you to know who your rock star custodians are when you leave this room. Custody.
Ownership.
I hadn't heard that one before. Okay, I'll give you a little chance to get over the picture. Has anybody figuratively painted yourself in the corner? You know, what in the heck did I do that for? The old thing, to err is human. Talk to me later about my error when I got to Baltimore, Elizabeth. It's okay to make a mistake. Well, yeah, some mistakes are more than others. Daryl, don't laugh over there. Daryl's running my camera, by the way, over there. Say hi, Daryl. The thing about it is, the mistake isn't the issue. It's if you don't fess up to it. Your rock star custodian knows they make a mistake. They're not guilt-free. They're not perfect. When they make a mistake, they own up to it. They take ownership of that. They move on. They go with it. That's the character of a person. I'm not perfect. I can guarantee you that. This is when ownership starts. We're talking about identifying those people in your organization that will help you move forward, that you want the rest of your team to emulate. Correct?
Correct.
Is there somebody perfect in here I'd like to meet you? let's see, Stephen says his birthday. He jumped right up. He's been watching me eyeball to eyeball. If I said that, he just kind of moved. Mike, I'm glad we got two of them.
Alder White.
How many people, oh, come on. Randall's going, oh yeah, I know that person. Hopefully you'll have one. It's not my job. Stay away from that. What we're doing is we're identifying the issues that we all deal with when it comes to our most valuable resource, which is people. Without people, would any of you be here? Do you ever kind of wonder where these people end up? What was Unemployed. Mike says they usually wind up in the class of the lazy janitor. Now, unfortunately, folks, this is the way that everybody looks at us. Got it? Isn't this what happens? Everybody looks at us as, we're just the janitor.
Yeah.
These are the people in this class that are giving us that black eye. That is not the rockstar custodian. Do you think this is one of those gentlemen? Nope. He's right out there. I'm going to give it to you. Come on, give me some. He's taking ownership of the material. He knows the importance of his own actions. He knows that if he looks at things right, he can solve the problems. He can take advantage of the issues. Do you think he waits for something to happen? Does it, am I going along the right lines here, guys? Are we going the right way? I told some people, I'm not going to point them out, that you've never been to a presentation like this one before. Did I hit it right?
I did do one of them.
Why did they
People who take ownership move up the ranks. Nobody walked up to me at any given time in my career and said, Dave, you will do this. You can do this. Here's how you do it. They didn't do it. Been a custodian all my life. I had to take ownership of what I want to do, what I'm going to do, where I'm going to go, and what I want out of my life. That is your rock star person. You may be one of those rock star people right now. So, pull out that cell phone again. We're going to play the first part of the game. Now this one is a little bit more for the marbles. First one just a warm up. Where am I at on time, Dan? I know I got only so much time.
You got 30 minutes yet, Dave.
Got 30 minutes, so I'm not going to wait for you. You just got to get in and go with me. He's got me on the clock. All right. Here it comes.
What's the number?
Oh, it's the number.
Good. Okay, let's get to 100 real quick.
I just can't figure
By the way, as you're doing that, I thought it was very interesting. If you do it with the Clean Link magazine, center page, front cover, the whole issue of holding on to your labor. Interesting concept, right? What am I actually teaching you right now? How to identify those people that you want to hang on to. If you know how to use this goes hand in glove with this. We're at 100? Yes, we're at 100. Let's go. Here's for some marbles. Start. 4 questions. We're going to go through real quick.
maybe you have to search for
What's the first letter C stand for? Who gave the answer to everybody? Somebody got it wrong. Lynn is wrong. That's over. I am calling it something else. It starts with a C as well. You saved Lynn. Okay. So who's the top? Now, Mark. Okay, so if you didn't pick this up, folks, there's two ways to gain plays here.
Seminar, I'm away.
The faster you answer the question,
But call,
and the more you get in order.
yeah, 602.
So this is kind of, because at the end of the session,
863.
I have an autographed manual. Okay? So this one here is still your warm-up, because the last 5 questions, the winner gets the book. All right? Angie! Oh, she wants to stay where she's at, because she may not stay on top like Mark said he would. Well, let her you stay up for it. There's 100. Jeez, I love this. This is so much fun. What? She's calling you a cheat. It's a prize, he said. He's going for it now. I don't know where Angie went, but... Holy crud! Oh, 100 got right. I know we talked about students, but come on, folks. Either I'm not being a very good instructor here, or I have some students not paying attention. Mark? It's on like Donkey Kong. Okay. So what does letter T stand for? I say Thompson, but that's not right. I wonder how they're stealing up over here. 120, come on, 120. Well, I thank you. I thank you, the teacher, the professor. Yes, I thank you. All right. Well, Mark, you're all top. Give a round for him now, because he may lose later. All right, let's go on. I got less than 30 minutes now. Optimistic. I am optimistic that you're going to take away something today, but you know what? When you walk in and you tell that custodian that they had this thing to do, and then they give you this response back, you know, if I had 100 chairs to set up and tear down, I can't get the rest of my job done. Is this optimistic? That is not what you want all of your rock star custodians to do. You don't want that word from them, right? I've heard this before. Yeah. I'll give you Now what's wrong with this picture?
Everything.
Highly motivated. Yeah, well. Now, I would like to say that was a staged picture, but I found it on the internet. I kind of got to tell you because I read the article with it. It wasn't staged. But this is what our public sees. Right, Mark? This is what they see. This is who they think we are. I was in Dallas at the ISSA convention last year. Hundreds and thousands of us were leaving to go on the escalators, right? To go to the at the airport. Don't know if any of you guys were in the same place I was at the time, but here's a lady over in the corner with a dust mop and a trash can.
We all got them.
I wasted a little bit of time there. That's what hundreds of thousands of people look and see this. This is not your rock star custodian. We need to change that attitude. We need to take what we believe is impossible, change it to possible. I do not work on negative. It has to be, I have a YouTube show, I have a podcast. If you're going to be on either one of those, we have to talk about 3 words: healthy, positive, and proactive. If you have a message that's one of those 3 or all 3, I want you on my podcast. That's a Rockstar program. I can, I will, no problem. Because these are the people, and so if you think about this, folks, how many people here are supervisors? Owners? If you think about this, move this all the way from the front line, because this is a 5-part program. I'm just giving you the first one. All right? So how do I supervise a Rockstar leader? How do I supervise a Rockstar employee? I have to recognize these things and move this from I can to we can, right? That's where we're going? So you think about this. How do I stair-step this from the front line all the way through the whole program, right? This is what everybody wants, correct? If you help that person, or if that person is helping others, these are the rock stars that we need to look for. Who in your team is helping other people move to this? Her. What's your name?
Geneva.
Geneva. She does this. Apparently, that's what they say.
She does.
Give her a round of applause. You see what I'm saying? We need to recognize those positive things that are happening. Why aren't we doing that? Well, I'm also a determined individual. If you don't believe what I'm saying, because there's me talking about myself, talk with Daryl Hicks. He's been knowing me for a while. He says, you're like a porcupine. You've got all the arrows in your back. I'm always taking the arrows for somebody because I'm determined to lead us to something that's more positive. I'm tired of taking and putting out fires. Have you heard some of the other messages? Bill was talking, and I had the pleasure, thank you, Bill, to talk about my health issues because of the cleaning industry. I can tell you, I am determined to push forth a message. And if you're a school custodian, you're going to have a clean building. You're going to have a clean area. It doesn't happen by chance, by the way, folks. We all know that. We're all in the same business together. Why doesn't the public know this? Because we're not talking. It's our fault. There's nobody to blame about the public perception other than us. Get with it. This gentleman, National Guard, I read the article, I'm not going to go into all of that. You probably know somebody like this. He went back to the school where he learned, he's not reading a book on aviation or military, he's reading a dinosaur book. Take time. You know that person's doing that. You know that rock star. I've been on the track. Now, I wasn't quite on the track doing this. I ran track before I got chronic asthma because of the cleaning industry. But you know what? You're going to be remembered for something. What are you going to be remembered for? That frontline person, that one that is the rock star, they're going to be remembered for what they did right. Why is it that we always focus on what they did wrong? Does everybody agree that somebody's doing something right? Yeah. All I'm trying to do is say, let's be positive, let's determine who that is. What you think about, you bring about. You've always heard this, right, in a little different language. Mike has some interesting things in his book. And I'm like, man, I'm so glad that I found your book, Mike, because what you're doing is you're actually putting into form what I've always known but couldn't get it out of my head. That's a great thing about networking. We find people that have that ability to do these things. This is what I'm talking about. I'm just helping you find the things that's already there. Nothing new. This isn't earth-shattering, is it? Is it common sense? That's what you were saying, right? You kind of knew this one was coming up, right? It kind of goes right along with the whole thing, right? If that person is who they are, they're going to have integrity. You know, in the day when I was doing this, coming up, there wasn't cameras in every classroom. There wasn't cameras down the halls and all this. Because somebody said, well, you got to believe everybody's watching you now. Now, well, we'll have cell phones. This person, this rock star, doesn't change their mode of operation because somebody's watching. Doesn't matter when you go in, doesn't matter who you are. If that superintendent had the schedule and knew that that person had taken ownership because of what the schedule was, they know that they could walk in and that person would be doing a quality job and that building would be right. Correct? You see, you put all of these things together, what have you got? There you go. How many people have Rockstar Day? We have Custodian Day, right? Why don't we have Rockstar Day? Aha! I like that. Okay. I like it too. Oh, by the way, because you said that, I've got a little bowl here. Whoever puts a card in this will get an email from the Academy of Cleaning Excellence to nominate your Rockstar Custodian for 2019. Right? Okay, I'm going to set it up here. No, I'm not taking time. I got too much to do. My cards are up here. Some other stuff. Oh, by the way, there's a limited amount of Rockstar pens. I'm just going to leave them right there, and then I'm going to run away. Because if that person has integrity, it doesn't matter what they're doing. They're trustworthy. They're going to do that. It doesn't matter who's watching, what they're saying. These people make the right choices for the right reason. They don't have to have you tell them what to do, when to do it, how to do it. Right? You're going right on. You've got somebody in mind right now. Are you going to nominate just one person or 5? Now, see, I should have to think about that. You can nominate as many people as you want. If you have done all this, if you were doing all this, this helps you as a person. Outside of my job, these characteristics, these things have helped me be who I am. Now, as I was going through this, I'm thinking, I've got strengths and I've got weaknesses, right? We all have those? Kind of own up to it. Yeah, I've got weaknesses. Well, this is one of my strengths. I'm an analytical person. To the point of my boss just really, he goes, if I want a document wrote, I know exactly who to go to. I said, well, I'm in education. Come on. Words make a difference, right? Rockstar Custodian is analyzing what's going on before the issue. They know what the issues are, right? They're going to take care of those issues. They're going to have decided what to do, and it's not going to happen in their building. They're determined to take ownership that that is not going to be an issue. You know that person? They've analyzed it. They know what approach to take. So the thing is over break, when everybody else is saying, how can I get out of work? They're doing what? Planning for what's going to happen. They're analyzing what has happened. And if you go back to Mike talking about it, go back to the calendar, change the calendar, update it, communicate in a good way. That person is doing that. Now, here's the thing. The person we're talking about, or the people we're talking about, they don't know they're doing these things. You know what's the worst part? You don't even know they're doing these things. You haven't identified that. I know this is going to sound kind of rough, but that's why you have a turnover issue. It's not because we didn't pay them enough. It's not because we didn't do this. It's because you're not recognizing what it takes to keep that person there. There is well over 100 people in the room. Is anybody going to sleep?
No.
Is anybody looking at their cell phone playing a game?
No.
You're engaged. This is education, folks. This is not training. Come to me at 1 o'clock and we'll talk about it, because I know Dan and I are going to talk about it. They're a critical thinker. This person knows exactly what's going to happen. They are making sure that things are going to go right. We're on the last letter. How much time I got, Dan?
10 minutes.
10 minutes. I'm on good time. Nurturing. This is my downfall. Now, you kind of thought it was a huggy-feely thing. Come on. Yeah, right. Okay? That doesn't mean I'm an ogre. It just means, I can guarantee you, in our family, you never leave the presence of another family member without a hug. So get in the right kind of situation. I'm a nurturing guy. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about physically. I'm talking about mentally. Right? Here is a nurturing custodian. A special needs child, likes dogs, brought her dog in. She works at the animal shelter. You see what I'm saying here? Outside of the place of business. Brought that into the place of business. Interacted, nurturing. What are we talking about here? No, I'm not going to be Grandpa sitting in the rocking chair in the library. I'm going to be in the computer lab. I've got a podcast. I do national broadcasts every week. No, I don't read books. But I will be one of these people someday. Because why? These are the people that in that day when I can't will be taking care of me. I now actually, I don't know, maybe a self-centered reason. But we all have our reasons. The rock star person, the rock star custodian is going to do these things. Take the opportunity. Recognize those people that you're thinking about. You've been thinking about them while we've been doing this for the last 45 minutes, right? You know the people you're talking about in your organization that fit the bill. This is what every single one of us should strive for. I'm not saying what you've heard all week is wrong. But folks, 92 to 95%, or whatever you want to say, depending who you talk to, of your issues of success or failure is people. I have one thing before I go on to this. We played the last game. Who here for their organization has bought a $15,000 riding auto scrubber? $15,000 riding auto scrubber for their building? Right? No, I spent that. She says I need one. Somebody who gets no auto scrubber, she needs one. Okay? My question is, for you folks that raise your hands, did you spend $15,000 last year in education? No. See where I'm going? Give me $15,000 for education, and I will engage your employees in a certain way that will make sure that they stay in your operation. If that doesn't save money, tell me something that does. One thing before I play this, Mike Ward's mission in his autograph manual that somebody's going to win, excel and take pride. What a noble cause. Would you not like to have all of your team that way and have people look at you like that? So what I'm asking you to do, your action item for this afternoon, whether you do it while I'm here or come see us at 1 o'clock, is put your name in the bowl, nominate as many Rockstar custodians, because I'll send you the link. My team will send you the link. So we're going to play the last game from the manual. I should have about 7 minutes or 6.
7 minutes. I'll even give you an extra.
Oh, I can get an extra one. You're not giving it to me, you're giving it to them.
Yeah, go back out, go back in.
We're going to go through this very quickly. Right? Very quickly. You know, it's kind of funny as we do this, is how many people couldn't get in on the first one, but by this time, it is so funny. 85, we'll play at 100.
Missed the second game.
There we go. Part 2, this is for the book. Manual. What does the letter O stand for? Quickly, use those fingers, use those thumbs. That's good. That's good. That quick. And that's wrong. Okay, class. I use this, so if you figured this out, I use Kahoot with every class. What a better way to take an exam. So I have a certification program. All of your exams are taken just like this. What an interesting way. Change the game. Use technology. We got it, right? What happened to Mark? I just got to say that. Concentration, I can hear it. Uh-oh. We have one person not on board. I'm not going to single that person out. I'm just not going to do it. Nope. Nope. Let's just go on. Mark moved up. Let's go on. Let her die. That's me, by the way. Oh, I'm sorry. I have to do this. Pardon me, folks. I just got to. Yeah, you guys have been so great. This is wonderful. Everybody says you can't do that with over 100 people. I said, oh, yeah, you can. I just want to have proof we did. Ooh. Mark, snooker. See how quick things are happening. Hey. I couldn't get that swallowed. Come on. Everybody get it up! Do you see what's happening, folks? 100 people that have never, well, maybe you guys met each other before. But does this, are you getting the message? It doesn't take a lot. It just takes planning. It takes engagement. It takes analyzing. Last letter. Who's going to win the vote? Emmanuel. The last 2 seconds. And all I can say is, you're in perfect class. That was you? You are the one? I'm not going to repeat what she just said. But she wasn't the one because there was 2 of them. The other one just didn't want to say it. I'll let her say it. Please come up front and get the we just need a picture to prove that you actually won and I just didn't give it to you. I want to send this to my... Oh, okay. So they said we got to stand by the scoreboard. All right, okay. 2 minutes? Let me close. Because everybody at this point goes, what's next? What do I do next? What can we do? All right? This is a 5-part series, 1-hour classes, just like what you went through. Identify, clarify what needs to be a rock star custodian. The next one in the series is how to build a rock star family, not a rock star team. Total different way of thinking about things. Then we get into supervisory, a rock star custodian. Identify, now we've got to talk about how do we supervise. So think of us that have moved up the ranks, but never were taught how to actually supervise human nature. That's what we're talking about, right? Think of your supervisor that you've always talked about how to clean, but never how to manage. Not from an HR point.
You get a good custodian or you get a good supervisor. It's something possible.
So he's saying we get either a good custodian or a good supervisor. Let's talk about how to do both. How to supervise, how to be a rock star leader. Now I'm gonna blow this one up just for a moment because there's always get some fun here. Anybody know some of those people? Anybody know some of those? I'm getting over here to Mr. Longevity. That's what I'm getting. Told me I talked about that, Lynn. Okay, so here's take a picture. That's how you connect with me. I am everywhere. Okay? If you have something healthy, positive, or progressive, I want you on my YouTube videos or on my podcast. I am here to search out the 2019 Rockstar Custodian. I think, Dan, you have a program going with another organization to identify people that are not rock stars, but are doing the right thing. That's what it's all about. I want to remind you, the most expensive issue is an unengaged employee. Don't let that be yours. Thank you very much, folks. Got one. He said, I got one of those pins. I've never seen a feeding frenzy like this. Oh, look at a feeding frenzy. Oh, my God. Folks,